I'm going to try this one last time. If you're just joining me, this was an impromptu live session that I've tried. This is the third time. I'm having extreme audio issues. So if you hear like this continuous loop that gets really annoying and builds on itself, let me know. Tell me, and I'll try and fix it. But I honestly don't know where it was coming from. I think I might have figured it out. Anyway, like I said, this was kind of unplanned, a live thing. I'm working on a few songs, and I thought I would just share them with you guys. So if you can hear me, let me know. Yeah, audio was terrible for the last couple. Hey Ricky, how you doing? So yeah, I was learning some songs. One of them is the song "So Will I," 100 billion times, and I really like it. It's got to be one of my favorite Hillsong songs to come out recently. But I was trying to figure out. I want to do like an acoustic playthrough of it, so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do it. And this is what I'm going to go for. So I'm going to play "So Will I." Might play a few more songs. I don't have a whole lot of time here, especially since I spent like half an hour working through audio trouble. But it looks like we got it all set now, which doesn't make any sense because it's not the first time I've done a live video. So I don't know why it was a problem for me. I restarted the computer and now we're back. And then I had camera issues, but I got that worked out. But I think the computer restart, I must have had some kind of a glitch going. If you hear like a slight rustling breeze in the background, I have two computers here, and they both may be like going a little crazy as I try and do this stuff. But anyway, here is an acoustic take on "So Will I" by Hillsong United. I don't know the song very well. I've only played it through maybe once. So this is kind of me working through how I'm going to feel, how I'm going to do a song. I always feel like I'm saying "song" by Hillsong. A Hillsong song. Yes, I understand. I got you, Kyle. I know what you mean. Anyway, this is what I'm going to do. "So Will I." This is going to be like the eventual acoustic playthrough, but I'm just kind of working through how I'm going to arrange it. By the way, I'm playing this in the key of G. The original is an A. Hey Tyson, where are you from in Oklahoma? Because I grew up there. I grew up in Fairview, if you know where that is. Here we go. God of creation, there at the start, before the beginning of time. With no point of reference, you spoke to the dark, fleshed out the wonder of light. As you speak, 100 billion galaxies are born in the vapor of your breath. The planets form. If the stars are made to worship, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've made. Every burning star, a signal fire of grace. If creation sings your praises, so will I. Got the audio. It's still good. Good. God of your promise, you don't speak in vain, a syllable empty your voice. For once you have spoken, all nature and science follow the sound of your voice. And as you speak, 100 billion creatures catch their breath. so will I. If the wind goes where you send it, so will I. If the rocks cry out in silence, so will I. If the sum of all the praises still fall shy, then we'll sing again 100 billion times. I was gonna hit that. You chased down my heart through all of my failure and pride. On a hill you created, the light of the world, abandoned in darkness to die. And as you speak, 100 billion failures disappear. Where you lost your life so I could find it. If you left the grave behind you, so will I. I can see your heart in everything you've done. Every part designed, the work of our called love. You gladly chose surrender, so alive. I can see your heart 100 billion ways. Every precious child is out to take you safe. Every precious one a child. If you gave your life to love them, so will I. Like you would again 100 billion times. But what measure could amount to your desire? You're the one who never leaves the one behind. Got it, okay. I had a few mistakes in there. The other thing is, I don't know if I'm gonna do just an acoustic take, that last part of the last line of the bridge. See again 100 billion times. That's really high, but you gotta belt it out. So anyway, that was the song So Will I by Hillsong United. So Will I 100 billion times. Really cool song. I appreciate, you know, when I was in college, I'm going to date myself here. When I was in college, there was a song that came out and got real popular called God of Wonders. How many of you guys know? I think it was Third Day. So, God of Wonders beyond our galaxy, you are holy. If you know that one, that was my Third Day impression. I love Third Day. Mac Powell, he's awesome. Anyway, if you know that song, it was like a song about creation and how creation reveals the nature of God. And I feel like this song is like this generation's God of Wonders. That's where I'm going with on it. I'm gonna sing a brand new song for you guys that we've been doing in my church lately, and it's called it's by North Point Worship. Let me find it. I'm gonna see if I can find a download of it. It's called I Fall. So we did it recently we introduced it recently at my church, and I really like it. It's very cool. If I can find it somewhere. I can't play it by memory. I don't know it well enough to go on off memory of it. So I'm gonna try and find a chart for it. Hold on a second here. Let me grab a chart. So it's I Fall. It's by North Point Inside Out. Really, really cool song. I really like it. We've been doing it a few times, like I said, in my church. Let me just grab a chart for it. so I can play it. I fall. It's at 70 BPM. I'm gonna do it probably in the key of A, because that's just the easiest. Let's download this chart here. Come on, planning. Yeah, we use Planning Center at my church. So I lost the chat. So if you've been sending me messages, I see someone that loves God of Wonders. Cool. That was a big song when I was growing up. So this is I Fall. Here we go. Caleb, you know this one. That's how it goes. Something's broken. Something's broken. I need your help. I can't fix this on my own. And my heart is prone to wander far. You call me back to your arms, and I fall at your feet again. Here's my heart again, Lord, I am yours. And I run with my chains undone, all because the love that you have shown. When I hear mercy calling, it's at your feet I'm falling. Jesus, I surrender all. Your kindness leads me to the light. No fear, no shame, I can't hide. You bore the nails, you wore the scars. Now I am safe in your arms, and I fall at your feet again. Here's my heart again, Lord, I am yours. And I run with my chains undone, all because the love that you have shown. When I hear mercy call, it's at your feet I'm falling. Jesus, I surrender all. Here comes the bridge. That was the wrong chord. Here we go. Unto Jesus I surrender, humbly at your feet I bow. These earthly treasures all forsaken. Here's my life, I lay it down. And unto Jesus I surrender, only at your feet I bow. These earthly treasures all forsaken. Here's my life, I lay it down. And I fall at your feet again. Here's my heart again, Lord, I am yours. And I run with my chains undone, all because of the love that you have shown. When I hear mercy call, it's at your feet I'm falling. Jesus, I surrender all. Alright, so that's I Fall by North Point. Really cool song. If you don't know that one, I suspect not many people know that one because they're not as big of a you know, like a well-known band as as Hillsong, for example. But yeah, really good. Check it out. I Fall. So that's all I had for you. I was just gonna play a few songs and hang out. If you have any questions, I'd be happy to entertain them at this point. Jessica asked a question in My Victory. Are you doing a hammer-on? Do you strum when you hammer on? I don't remember My Victory. So My Victory is a Crowder song, right? So gosh, I don't know. I'd have to listen to it. I don't know how it goes for sure. Caleb, man, how does My Victory go? I can't remember. I'm sorry. I apologize. I don't know the answer to that question off the top of my head. Caleb asked, do I like this guitar I'm playing compared to my D35, which is back there on the wall? Yeah, so the D35 is like classic. This one's new, so it's still kind of like the new thing that I play. There are a few things I like about this better. One, the string spacing. So the neck on this one, this is a Martin CEO7. I did see somebody ask me a question earlier about what is this guitar. It is a 00 body style. It's actually a slope shoulder 00, so it's like a Gibson. But it's Martin's take on like an old school Gibson, almost like a parlor guitar. So it's got a wider neck, which I like. It's got a V-shaped neck, like the back of the neck is a V shape, which is nice. Let's see, what else do I like about it? Because it's smaller, it has more of like a focused mid-range sound. So I like the way it sounds with other instruments. So the D35 is a dreadnought, and it's really big and boomy, and it sounds really good on its own. Like if I played it right now, it would sound great. But this one sits really well in a mix. So they just sound a little different. I like them both. I kind of like this one a little more at the moment, maybe just because it's new. I don't know. I just love I love the sound of it. It's really, I'd been wanting something like this for a long time. So. Yeah, so that's the CEO7. Gibson or Taylor, John Flores asks. The answer to that question is Martin. I'm a Martin fan. Gibson and Taylor all make nice guitars. I'm not a big Taylor guitars fan, just because they have a shimmery high-end thing that I'm not a huge fan of. So, but they certainly sound good, and they certainly play very well. Ricky asks if I can do It Again. He's asked me a few times. I don't know Do It Again off the top of my head. So I do have a song playthrough video and tutorial video if you're wanting to learn that song. So sorry, I don't know that one right off the top. Can I play a banjo? William Lee asks. I've never tried. We've done this thing at my church where we play what we call a ganjo. It's a guitar. It's a banjo that's like 6 strings like a guitar. A banjo is 4 strings if I know right, and I'm not sure what those 4 strings are. So I've never tried to play a banjo. Mateus says, did I say that right? Thank you for the Helix patches. Welcome. Are more of those coming? Yes, I'm working on more. I've got an acoustic one on the way, and I've got some more electric guitar patches, as well as more song patches coming. So, let's see. Can I play piano? Not very well. I took piano lessons when I was a kid, so it was actually the first instrument I ever played was piano, and I really liked it. And so for example, when I was a sophomore in high school, I played Pomp and Circumstance at my graduation. So if you don't know that, it's a graduation song. So I played it at my graduation. Yeah, and I played, I could play a few classical pieces. I really wish I'd kept it up. I kind of dropped it, around my 8th or 9th grade year. So when I was a sophomore, it was like, when I was a 10th grader, it was like trying to remember how to play this thing when I played that song. But I haven't really kept it up. I wish I was way better at it, but I don't play piano very well. Ricky asks, what part of the U.S. is my church located? We're in North Carolina. I live in Chapel Hill. Do I struggle with fatigue or exhaustion as an employed worship leader? Gavin, that's an interesting question. Are you talking vocal fatigue or just overall fatigue? Because both of those things can be helped by proper diet and exercise, taking care of yourself. Vocally, yeah, it's tough, especially when you do multiple services. So, like on Sunday, I sing a lot, starting from about 5 a.m. until about 1 p.m. on a Sunday. Yeah, it just comes with time. You need to really learn how to take care of your voice, and you learn how to sing well. It will help you also if you're not pushing so hard. Yeah, Caleb asks, am I from North Carolina originally? No, I grew up in Oklahoma, so moved here from Oklahoma. Brian asks, when did I start learning the guitar? I was a sophomore in high school when I started learning the guitar. So I was 15 or 16-ish years old, and now I'm 38, so I've been playing for 22, 23 years. So I should be a whole lot better than I am. I consider myself like an intermediate guitar player. I wish I could say I was advanced, but I'm probably not. Okay. Jessica asks, do I do any work outside of church and worship tutorials? No, those are my only sources of employment and income. So, and actually worship tutorials is my full-time source of income. I used to be full-time for the church. I'm sorry if this is bothering you. I know that fiddling with my pick bothers people. I used to be full-time at my church until about a year and a half ago, and then I left that full-time position, and I left the campus where I was as well, and now I'm full-time worship tutorials. Does it feel weird talking to the internet? Yes, a little bit, but we're all friends here, right? What tips do I have for caring for my voice and not pushing too hard? Jamie asked. That's a great question. I don't feel very qualified to answer it, actually. Learning proper singing technique is a big one. It will help you with fatigue and that kind of thing. But a lot of it's just building up endurance and just knowing your limits. All right. What type of pick do I use? So these are these Dunlop Tortex picks. I like these. I use the blue one, which is 1 millimeter. I use the green one, which is, I think, like 0.8-ish. And I use mostly those two for acoustic guitar. For electric guitar, I use these Herdim picks, H-E-R-D-I-M. They're kind of expensive. They're made in Germany. But I really like them, and I use the blue one and the red one. The blue one's a little bit thicker than the red one. The reason I like these for electric guitar is because they've got texture on them, and if you play the pick backwards, the texture grabs the string and kind of gets that ch-ch sound, like that tearing Velcro kind of a sound, which I really like for electric guitar. William Lee asks, why is my live stream quality so good? I can answer that question for you, William. Well, first of all, my live stream quality earlier, before this video, was terrible because my audio was all messed up. But, so for live stream audio, you need audio and video that's basically ready to go out of the camera and out of the mic. So I'm using a Sony A9. That's my camera that I'm using. I use one of two cameras for live stream, well, for everything. I use a Blackmagic Ursa Mini 4.6K, and I use a Sony A9. I used to use Sony A7S II and A7R II, and I've moved away from those for the Sony A9, which is an expensive camera. So is the Blackmagic camera. They're not cheap, but picture quality. The picture quality on the A9 is fantastic. So the colors. So Sony struggles with colors, especially skin tones. Like their reds are a little weird, so skin tones can look a little strange. You have to work really hard to get them right. But this is just a regular Sony built-in picture profile in the A9. It looks good. And then for the audio, I'm just running into a AKG condenser mic into the Universal Audio Apollo, and I have some EQ and compression on it. So, does my camera focus? Jessica asks a question about focus on my camera. Usually I set it up for manual focus. These Sony cameras do really well with autofocus, but I don't like to leave that up to chance. So before I start, I put a microphone right where my face is, and then I focus on that, and then I move it. Okay. When I do covers of... Felix asked an interesting question, a legal question. When I do covers of worship songs, does licensing become an issue? So on YouTube, it's fine. So all the major labels have deals with YouTube. So what happens is if you do a cover of a song, you upload it to YouTube. YouTube automatically knows what the song is. They have algorithms that detect that. They will automatically know what the song is and who owns the song, who distributes the song. They will then put ads on your video and then send the ad revenue to whoever owns the song. You actually, now the creator gets a little cut of that ad revenue, but most of it goes to, most of it goes to Capitol Records. Capitol controls pretty much everything. Not quite everything. So, for example, Bethel and Elevation Church are two of the big artists that aren't under Capitol, but almost everybody else is. So, and then if I sell stuff based on songs, I have to license that through Elevation or Capitol or whoever, and then I pay royalties on that. So, yeah, it gets complicated, and I don't really understand how all that works. But anyway, so let's see, what other questions? I've kind of missed them. Recommendation for an affordable beginner guitar, Alex. We have the best cheap guitar video that Bryce and I made. One of my buddies is worship leader with me. And that video gets a lot of hate because we recommended two guitars that are about $500. And I always say buy used. And so it's a Martin, it's a Martin 000 body style, 1AEX, 1AXE, something like that. But check out that video. I really think it's a great guitar. You can get it used for about $350 in the U.S. Do I keep my pick in my hand when I finger pick? Gavin says. Yes. Teach you. I'm going to teach you. Okay. This is what I do with it. Put your pick between your middle finger and your index finger. And so if you put it up here I grab it with my knuckle, and I still can pick with these two fingers. So for example, I did what was the song I did first? So Will I. So my pick is still in my hand. This is a good lesson for me. I'm going to try and talk while I do this. So your pick can kind of stay planted in there. If you want to, you can use both fingers. This takes practice though, as everything does. But after you do it for a little while, you kind of get good at it, and then when you want to strum, just grab the pick. Those were almost the chords for So Will I. Have I created my own worship song? I have written a few songs. And how do you know the song is to come fresh from the Holy Spirit? Well, it depends. Well, so for me, when I write songs, I like to write out of the Bible. And so I believe any time that we write a song that comes from Scripture, that the Holy Spirit has inspired that, because all Scripture is inspired by God, right? Do I have Jamie? I don't know. Only King Forever. So yeah, I haven't done that one yet. You are the only king forever. I think it goes like that. I don't know that song that well, but I could certainly listen to it and figure it out. All right, it's getting close to 5:30 where I am, so I'll take a few more questions. How do I feel about churches who create a concert atmosphere during their worship service? Jeremiah. Well, Jeremiah, if you have seen any of our Sunday vlog videos, you would probably say, I don't know if you would or not, but my church where I lead, we have fog and moving lights and loud music and everything else. So I don't know if you feel that's a concert atmosphere or not, but I think every church is different. This is a good question. I think every church is different. It has its own culture, and it should stay true to that culture and the vision that God has given that church. And so I think that if the heart of the people creating that are creating that environment to bring people into the presence of God, then it's good. I do know, I mean, I will admit there are people and places, I'm sure, that use a church stage as their own platform to elevate themselves. That's a hard issue, though. I think that we should not be quick to judge a church based on what it appears that they're doing, especially if it's not something that we think that's different from our church, I should say. So, you know, if you lead worship in a church that is really traditional, that has like a beautiful sanctuary, and and does hymns and that kind of thing, versus a church like mine where everything is like moving lights and fog and haze and electric guitars and drums and stuff. Those are very different atmospheres of worship. Both can be full of the Holy Spirit and draw people close to God, where people experience God. And so I don't think that we should say one is better than the other, because I don't believe one is better than the other. Every church is different, and lots of people in the world are different, and people worship in different ways. So I don't know if that answers your question, but that's how I feel about it. Snolly asks, what do I use to record guitar? Acoustic guitar, I assume. My go-to is this mic that I'm talking into right now, which is an AKG C214, which is kind of a little brother of the C414. The C414 is kind of a legendary studio mic, but the 214 is really good. So I like to mic it. Otherwise, I run direct out, and both my acoustics that I use have an LR Baggs Anthem in them. So yeah, that's how I record. And then the basics, EQ, compression, reverb. That's what, you got to do that on everything. So, how do I learn songs? By looking up the chords or hearing the song? A little bit of both. Edwin, the reason I make chord charts available is because a lot of times the charts that you find out there are not right. So my instinct is to listen to a song and listen to what's happening in it. But yeah. Rock asks, how useful is it for us to know power chords, that your name is appropriate? I say it's very useful. I use power chords all the time when I play electric guitar, especially when I'm playing rhythm guitar. So the Anthem turns an acoustic guitar into to make it pluggable. Yeah, it's electronic, so it's a pickup system. I have a review of the LR Baggs Anthem, so if you're interested in what the Anthem is, check it out. It's about a $300 pickup, and then you have to pay to have somebody install it, so it's not cheap, and it very well may be more expensive than your guitar, in which case I probably wouldn't suggest getting one. But if you have a really nice guitar, I think it's the best pickup system you can buy. Anyway, all right. Do I get paid for my church? Jesse asks. Yes, I used to be full-time at my church, so I got, a full-time salary. But now I am contract, so I get paid for every weekend I lead worship. But I just get paid, just for being there on Sunday, because that's all I really do. I don't do any of the other stuff that I used to, because worship tutorials is my full-time thing at this point. That was a bad note. So Carlos wants me to play one of my original songs. Let me find them. Let me find an original song. Gosh, I haven't played originals in so long. What would I even play? Let me look one up. It's 5:30 where I live, and I need to leave soon. So I'm going to find one of my originals that I feel comfortable playing. Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll play the song called I Will Send My Son. All right? That's what I should do with these live streams. I should play originals, right? Because I have a lot of originals, and I don't have like a, I don't know if you know this about me. I don't have a desire to like write. I kind of do, but what I want to use, if I have a platform which I kind of do with YouTube and that kind of thing. I don't really want to use that platform to draw attention to myself. So really what my desire is with worship tutorials and with everything I do is to help equip people to be better worship leaders. The vision of worship tutorials is for every church in the world to have worship that's excellent and authentic. And so that's what I want to do. And, you know, me pushing my own original songs doesn't accomplish that. So that's not what I want to do with this. But here's the song I wrote called "I Will Send My Son." I'm going to do it in the key of D, just because it's a little easier. Jessica says I could upload them to my personal channel, which is true. I started that channel with like aspirations of I was gonna do a couple things. I have a personal YouTube channel. I was gonna upload covers of like pop songs that I like, which would be from like the 90s and early 2000s, and maybe originals. And I was also gonna do like a behind the scenes of this is how you build a YouTube channel, but I don't ever have time. So I feel like every time I sit down to try and do something, I just think, man, I have so many other things to do regarding worship tutorials. Maybe eventually. Anyway. I gave you a garden. I might need to do this in E because D is a little low. Here we go. We'll split the difference. E flat. I gave you a garden. Perfect and good. You had everything you wanted, but you still took the fruit. I got some in my eye. Here we go. And I gave you a nation, like I said I would. I promised became true. You still took the fruit, and for all the wrong you've done, for all the sin of the world, everyone, all because of my love. My love, I will send my son, and he'll take it all away. He'll take it all away. I have made you my children. Called you daughters and sons. I will give you life everlasting, all because of my love. And for all the wrong you've done, for all the sins of the I will send my son. He'll take it all away. He'll take it all away. There will be no more death here. There will be no more crying or pain. I will I'll take it all away. And for all the wrong you've done, for all the sins of the world, everyone, all because of my love, my love. I have sent my son, and he took it all away. He took it all away. He took it all away. Yeah. So that was I Will Send My Son, which is a song written from the perspective of God, which is interesting, which is a prickly one as a songwriter. Maybe I'll do one more original, if you want to hear one more original. To find one, though. Let's see. Arrangement. Arrangement would be my name. I have them all in... I have all these in Planning Center because I haven't played these songs in so long. Oh man, what am I gonna sing? What could I sing? Okay, so here's another one. I don't have any tips on songwriting, Gavin. Sorry, I'm not like I don't feel like I'm a great songwriter. So this one is one that I think people could have a theological issue with, including myself. But it's not all that I've done right. So this is a song that's written from the perspective of, I can't remember which psalm it is, but it's Asaph. Asaph is a basically the worship leader, one of the main song leaders in Israel. And he lives during the time of Solomon. So if you know Solomon's story, you've got this guy Solomon who asks God for wisdom, and God gives it to him. And so he acquires all this wealth, and he starts turning to things that the world offers. So Solomon had many, many wives and concubines and that kind of thing. And at the end of Solomon's life, he writes the book Ecclesiastes, which he basically says, "Hi, Bryce, I'm talking about a song that I wrote called Our Father's a Good Man." So Solomon writes the book Ecclesiastes saying, basically everything in the world is meaningless. All these things that I've pursued are all meaningless. Meanwhile, Asaph writes this psalm saying, everybody who does wrong, things prosper in their lives. So he's talking about Solomon, I think. But Asaph says, I've lived a righteous lifestyle, and yet so many bad things have happened to me. And he says, but at the end of everything, God is good. And so that's the idea about this song. And it goes like this. It's not fair, all that I've done right is paid back with sacrifice. It's not fair, all that they've done wrong is giving them everything they'd ever wanted. I almost lost my way, almost lost my faith, I almost lost my life. But our Father is a good man, He loves His children, He gives us His kingdom. Our Father is a good man, He loves His children. And it's not right, I've given you my life, I've given you my freedom, Father is a good man. He loves his children. And everything will fade away. Everything will fade away. Everything will fade away. But you. But you. Our Father is a good man. He loves his children. He gives us his kingdom. Our Father is a good man. He loves his children. So that one, so I said you might have a theological issue with that song because I refer to God as a man. But I do think the Bible often uses the symbolism of a father, of a relationship with a father and a child to talk about God. So, you know, songwriting is interesting in the fact that it's, songwriting is very personal. So it's a very personal expression of one person's feelings or an outpouring of their worship or a prayer. Or something like that. So that was sort of a personal one for me as I read that psalm and tried to wrestle with, like, wow, what is he going through? The writer of this psalm, why is he writing this? Who, you know, and it's interesting too to look at what else is happening in a person's life in the Bible, culturally and everything else. So anyway, so Bryce is hanging out with us. Bryce answered Jason's question. Bryce and I are staff together at New Hope Church. Well, Bryce is staff. I'm sort of, Bryce, am I staff? I'm kind of staff. I'm contract. Anyway, Bryce, I mentioned a video we did. Somebody asked what the best budget guitar was, so I told him to go watch our best cheap guitar video that everybody hates on. But I stand by it, and Bryce, I know, stands by it too. Anyway, yeah, so those were a few of my own original songs. So maybe that's something I can do in the future, is get on here on live video and sing original songs. Because I don't, like I said, I don't feel like this platform is not one that I want to use to promote my original stuff. But if it's something you're interested in, that's something I could do. Maybe one day, you know, if I wrote a song that I felt like, man, this is a song that the church could really latch onto and sing, a worship song, then sure, I would make content on that. But the songs that I write are not really corporate worship songs, and I haven't written a song in a long, long time. But anyway, I need to do that. Bryce, if Bryce is still here, Bryce is I'm worship leader emeritus. Bryce is an excellent songwriter, and Bryce has played me some of his original stuff, and it's awesome. So if Bryce's stuff, if you ever see Bryce Sheehan on iTunes or Spotify or whatever, download it and listen to it immediately. It's good. Anyway, it's 5:45. I have to go pick up my child from daycare. So it has been a lot of fun to hang out with you. I'm glad that the stream worked this time around. I can do more of these in the future. I know that the YouTube live thing, I've meant to do it every Friday, and that's more of a show, I guess you could say, where I have somebody or a couple people with me and we have topics we want to talk about. But I could do more of these, just kind of hanging out together, things, playing guitar, playing some original songs if you want. Emeritus of the former holder of an office, especially of a college professor, having retired but allowed to retain the title as an honor. So that means, Bryce, I'm a retired New Hope worship leader. Anyway, Bryce, you deserve it, my friend. Bryce's stuff is good. I'm a fan. Anyway, so I've said the word anyway too much. In the last Sunday vlog, I actually haven't edited it yet, but I've talked about what is your tick. So the tick is something that you say when you don't know what to say. Apparently this time around it's anyway. But when I lead worship, I always say the word all right. So at the end of a song, All right, so that was, we're gonna sing another song, and it's just like you gotta stop saying that stuff, and it comes with prep. So if you prepare and know what you're gonna say, you won't fall back on all right. Anyway, don't do that stuff, especially if you're a public speaker. If you're speaking from a platform in front of a bunch of people, don't use and uhs and okays and ums and all rights and anyways, that kind of thing. Those are ticks. You got to get rid of them. So with that, what was that thing? All right, I'll leave you with that. So guys, thanks for hanging out with me. More of these impromptu live sessions to come. I need a schedule. Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern time is the schedule that I'm going to stick with. But anyway, there I did it again. There's my tick. I'm going to leave now. I'm going to go pick up my son Seth from daycare. Jessica says our kids are the same age. Just started pre-K at daycare. Yeah, so Seth is 4. He turned 4 in April. So I don't know if they're the same age or not, but kids will change your life in a good way. So I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.